So, hey guys, this is AFM Stories. I'm passionate about making success stories out of young people through scholarships, opportunities, career tips, and this is one of such sessions. This is called the Scholars Life, and I interview amazing people like Esosa, people who have done great things. So people who have won prestigious opportunities, large funding, or like experts, agents, program officers, different kinds of people. And today is one of such sessions. I'm really grateful that this one went down because, anyways, today is one of such sessions and this is going to be recorded. Hi, Kinsley Egbo. Nice to have you here. You guys can drop your questions, you can chat it up, just put everything you want to say in the comment section. This is going to be recorded and it's going to be up on my YouTube channel. So I'm sure that that's what a lot of people are waiting for. But for the select few of us who are here, the exclusive crew, we will be able to ask as many questions that are personalized to our special guest today. So I'm sure you're all wondering, oh, who is this really pretty lady smiling here with us? Like, guys, I did compliment her hair. I really love her hairstyle. Anyways, she is our special guest for today and she won, not one, guys, 2 graduate assistantships. What? $36,000, not naira, dollars, guys. 36. I don't even want to do the calculation, but I'm sure we all know what that is. Like, that is a big deal. And she didn't just win it in any year, she won it in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic, guys, and she won 2. So anyways, the purpose of today's session is to speak to her about her journey, learn how she got it, and then she can walk us through the processes. I do already have some questions for you. Yes, and then lots of people sent questions. A lot of people sent questions. So I would read out their questions for them because some people would rather send the questions and then watch it later, But I have a number of questions for you. I don't want to scare you with a number, but I know that we are here to learn a lot, and that's what's really important. So we're here to learn a lot. Okay. Oh, I didn't even see Kinsey's full message. Okay, you have my email. I would send that now. It's AFM Stories media@gmail.com. Okay, so the first thing I'm sure we all want to know is to know more about you. Who is the amazing Esosa? Who are you? What do you do? What is your background? So maybe your educational background. What are you passionate about? Who are you before you started this? Before you started your assistantship, basically, and then what drives you, and just basically your drive, what you do, and what makes you tick, basically.
So I think I'll just go from like what I studied in like undergrad, right? So like where I currently am, right? So I studied political science in my undergraduate degree.
Okay.
I did not want to study political science, if I'm being honest, but I mean, as God will have it, that's what I studied, right? And moving on from political science, when I finished, right, I was really confused on what I was going to do, where I really wanted to go, like in terms of career path. I feel like we all go through that journey at some point in our life, like what exactly do we want to do, right? But for me, after experimenting, being a legal intern to being like a HR like intern, then I finally jumped into like communications and digital marketing. I was able to understand that this is where I really want to go, and I really like communications, and I understand what it takes, right? So I decided to go that path, right, and started taking courses. I started working last year. I started doing freelance jobs, being a content writer, content strategist. And I'm just like, I need to actually get this degree because my undergraduate was in political science. How do I explain to like top companies or top firms that I want to work for them, but I don't have like a communication degree to back it up, right? So I decided to do my master's, right? Doing my master's, I just started the journey of, do you know what? Let me just start this master's thing. And I started in December 2019. I started the whole process in December 2019, right? Going through the process, I wrote my exams and I got my admission. I shortlisted my schools and I finally got admission into 2 schools. I applied to just 2 schools because I was going to apply to more, but there were a lot of transcript issues, time was going, deadlines and everything, and I could only meet up to like 2 schools. And after applying to 2 schools, I finally got into both schools, and it was now like a decision to pick between one of the 2 schools. I had to decide, right? In doing that, I decided to go with the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, right? And after I did that, the first thing I did was to get as much information as I needed to have to navigate through the process, right? And I spoke to my graduate coordinator and I said, oh, what's going on? Please, oh, I'm coming here. What can I do? How can I get funding? Because I didn't really know about funding when I applied. I just applied because I wanted to get my master's and get my degree. And moving back to what drives me, right? I think it's just the fact that I needed something to back up my skills. I know I have the skills, right? I can defend my skills. But how do I tell top employers and top firms that, oh, do you know what? I know this thing so well without having that major degree to back me up. I've taken courses, right? So I think my major goal or drive to get to the point of even speaking to my graduate coordinator was majorly because I wanted to get to that level where I can defend my stuff. Like I can defend what I know, right? With everything I have in me. So my skills, the certification, and maybe recommendation from people I have worked with. So I would say that that's really like the drive and goal. I don't know if I should stop here or I have answered your question.
Well, you have actually, you have. So basically, your background is in political science, but a lot of us actually study first degrees that we don't really connect to, anyways. But then you stumbled into communications, and your passion to get the backing, the certification is what really drove you into this. That's really brilliant. Like, and I really get how that feels. Even myself, like one of the major reasons why I'm studying my master's is to get certification to develop myself in my passion. So I feel like that is really noble. So the first question, because I'm sure that was like the most recurrent question in like the entire form, and it is, what is an assistantship? So lots of people see scholarships, a lot of people see tuition fee waivers, but not many people really know what an assistantship is. So that's the first question for you today.
That's actually a good question, because I feel like a lot of people, even me myself, when I did not know, I always like think an assistantship is a scholarship, but there's a difference, right? A scholarship, you get qualified, you get what you want, you get the money, for example, and you don't give anything in return. But an assistantship is like a job, right?
Okay.
I have to work for an office or do research for like a lecturer, because they're giving me something. They're paying my school fees, and they're also giving me a stipend every month. So what do I do in return? I give them like services, value. I give them something tangible that they can say, oh yeah, you are actually doing something good enough for me to be able to pay your school fees, right? So an assistantship is just like a job, like it's an exchange. You do something for me, I do something for you. So you're assisting me in achieving a goal or like something in my office. Yeah, that's just basically it.
Okay, so just a little more clarification here. So do they give you like monthly stipends? Do they what's the word? Are the requirements similar to that of a scholarship? And then must the job you're doing for them relate to the course you're studying?
Okay, so I think in this context, I'll speak for myself, right?
Okay.
I am a content strategist and social media manager. While I was trying to get funding or look for assistantship positions, I applied to jobs that were similar to what I do. So I applied to social media jobs, right? And the only reason why I would say I was picked, because I had to go through like different series of interviews, was because I knew like social media management, and they could see that, oh, you know social media management, so you can offer value to me. So I would say that assistantship is based on what kind of value can you offer to an office, right? Or are you good at like research, or do you know research so much that you can assist a lecturer to get his paper published or get his research published, and they will say, okay, do you know what, I can pay for your school fees for you to assist me to achieve this goal. So for clarity, there's a stipend involved depending on the school, right? But I think
is it the school that pays on behalf of the lecturer?
So yes, it's the department. It's the department or the office. So that's why I say you have to offer value to like either a department or like an office, because every lecturer, even if they are doing like their research, right, department will fund them because they will need like funding to carry out the research, right? So
it helps them.
Stipend is involved. You're on your own. Like you need to know the kind of value you can offer that will get you to like the position you want to get to, basically. So stipend is involved, and the kind of value you can offer.
Yay, that sounds really exciting. That sounds like you are gaining an education, but you're also gaining an amazing work experience. Guys, that's like two things in one. you don't find that everywhere. Like, anyways, the third question is obviously, what assistantships did you win and where? What is the value of them, and what courses and what roles? But I think you've kind of like touched on some parts of this, but you can just help us to retouch it again for let me not go and bag out in this session. But for purpose of clarity,
Yeah.
so let me go over it again because I feel like I said a lot. So
Yeah,
what assistantships did you win and where? Let me start from that.
okay. So what assistantship did I win?
I know
First of all, I won like it's not like a winning thing. It's like what
you
assistantship did you
got.
qualify
Okay.
for? Exactly. Did you get? Yeah, exactly. So like the first one was social media private assistant, right?
Okay.
I managed one of the social media handles or one of the social media accounts for the school.
Wow.
That was the first one I won. The second one was a research assistant. Yeah, that's like thank you. The second one was like research assistant. And I think the second one was majorly based on performance because it was my graduate coordinator that offered it to me. I did not even like know about it, and I just got an email, right? And I think he just because he was able to see like my performance like over like first semester, and he was like, oh, you'll be good to be on my team to help my research. So that's why I said that lecturer like has to be able to vouch for you, or an office has to be able to vouch for you because they need to see your skills. So the two things I won, just for clarity, is one, social media assistant, and two, research assistant.
Okay, so that settles the first one. Now, what are the value of the two of them in terms of money?
It's the same thing. It's the same offer.
It's $36,000, and does that cover both the school fees and the stipend? Because I'm just trying. Okay, so basically,
is the school fees. Let me just say, the school fees and everything you would pay if you were to study.
Okay.
So they cover that for you, right? And they pay you a monthly stipend, just like living expenses. How do you survive like every single month? So because they care about how you survive every single month, because you're working for them, right? So they get to pay stipend.
Do they pay for your travel though to the country, or do you cover that yourself? Okay.
So you actually cover you cover
yeah,
yourself.
But if they're paying for everything and all you have to also for is travel, I think guys, that is phenomenal. So anyways, so what specific course are you studying?
So I'm studying strategic communications.
Okay, that's really cool actually. What is the course about?
Okay. So strategic communications is under communication. It's like a major under communication. So communications is like the broad name, but under communications you have to choose between like mass communication or strategic communication. I decided to go with strategic communication, and the reason why is because strategic communication goes like it relates more to storytelling, right? How do you tell the stories of brand in a human form through like public relations, through advertising, through content, and that is really what I'm about. I like to write. If you don't know, I have a Medium page that I write, and I try to like publish articles.
I think I read. That's where I read about.
Exactly. So like it's basically just telling people stories and like in the most human form and relatable form. And I think that's really what I'm about, and that's why I really went for that course.
Your course is lovely. The assistantship is lovely. Everything is just lovely. I don't know if I'm the only one, guys, but I'm just like, this sounds all cool. Anyway, so the next thing is, how did you find out about the assistantship, and how can people find out about them? Because I feel like that was a very recurring question too.
That's actually a really nice question. Like so now this part, I think I'll just tell like my story.
Yeah, yours definitely.
Yeah. How did I find out about the assistantship? I'll say again, when I started applying, I did not know about this thing. I did not know. The plan was just to come here and school, right? But along the way, when I got my admission, I decided to ask my graduate coordinator that are there any opportunities for scholarships or funding? That was the first step. The first step for me was researching and trying to seek knowledge, right? And I did this by speaking to my graduate coordinator. And he replied me and said that I can check like the Facebook page and also Handshake. So Handshake is a platform where like most schools, they put like on campus jobs.
Could you spell it?
Handshake. So I can put it
like in Handshake. Okay.
Yeah. So I can put it in the chat for everybody.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. handshake.
So guys, for those watching, handshake.
Yeah. And this platform mostly is when you get admitted into a school. I think you are opportune to join this platform. So what I did was I registered on the platform and I was able to join. So what I did was I was always checking every single time for jobs that align with my career path. So basically, social media jobs, content jobs, right? I was not searching for like maybe engineering jobs. You have to like look at things that align with your career path, right? And when you see these offers, you read through like what are they going to offer you, and I actually saw that they were going to like pay for my school fees, right? And I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity. So when I registered on Handshake, I started searching for jobs, right? And I finally found one that aligned with my career path, and I applied, right? When I applied for this job, a few days later, I got called for an interview. I got interviewed and everything, and COVID
What was
was
the application like for the job? So for people that want to apply for jobs, like was it just like the regular personal cover letter CV? Okay.
Yeah, that was
You
like
used to
just
give us tips on cover letter, because for a cover letter that will give you 6 days later, be a few days. No, I think we should even talk about that one now. Honestly.
okay.
Like, okay, no, let's actually finish up the process first, and we'll go back to cover letter, because days, guys, even me, I'm interested to find out. Like, okay, so yeah, you got interview a few days later, and okay,
yeah, I got interviewed a few days later, and the interview went really well. To be honest, it was really good, right? But I think the only problem was when I was going to come, because COVID, like lockdown, borders were closed, right? So I didn't get in. The first job I applied for, I did not get in. But guess what? God did it in a way that the person that interviewed me recommended me to other offices that would need my services. So
we're going to actually talk about not just your personal statement, but your interview, because guys,
if I do say so myself, I think my interview was good. I know it was good, right? So it was just COVID that was trying to mess things up, right? And I'm glad that, because I actually, after I didn't get the job, right, I sent an email, because if you want something, you have to fight. So I sent an email and actually said that, what did I do wrong? I just really wanted to know what I did, because I felt in my heart that interview was good. And she was like, oh no, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just going to recommend you to other people, because I knew that she wasn't certain as to when I was coming to the US. And I just knew that was the issue, because the COVID question, it went like this. It was based on recommendation. Wow. And because she was able to speak for me that, oh, this person is good, you should take her, right? And recommended me. I got to interview with 2 other like departments and offices, and I got into one, and that was it.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go back to the beginning. So when obviously you registered on the Handshake, the first thing people need to do is to apply to the schools, get the admission, and then this now qualifies them to go on the Handshake platform. Okay, yes. So when they get to the Handshake platforms and they search for jobs that are in alignment with them, so applying for jobs now, you're going to give us tips, because we need to learn your award-winning tips. So firstly, are the jobs only just social media, or what other kinds of jobs did you see for other people? Is it just social media and research based? Are there like any other types? For people that maybe not social media people or even academic people, I just want to know how broad the possibilities are. Or I don't know if you can comment on it, really.
Yeah. I feel like it depends on the school. Let me just put that. It actually depends on the school, right? And also, it's very broad. It just depends on what you're looking for, and if you're lucky enough to find it in time. Because I even applied like late, right? I started getting the information late. I was late to the party. So it was like a hustle kind of thing.
It was the right timing, girl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if I had maybe applied early and had seen the whole thing early, maybe I would have seen like more opportunities. But I would say that it depends on the school when it comes to like the opportunities to see. But for me, I was searching for myself, right? So I can't really.
Yeah, you were streamlining.
Yeah, I can't really I really streamlined it, and I put filters, because I didn't really care about like other. I couldn't be wasting my time, yeah. But yeah, some of the whole story that I really think is timing. I really think it's like the school that will depends on the school and what opportunities the school have to offer. really. And for research assistant, right, you really don't have to go through handshake. I think it's more of a conversation between you and your graduate coordinator, because the lecturers don't really put it on handshake. It's all these on-campus jobs that put it on handshake. But like when you want to assist a lecturer, for example, you would not. I doubt you will find it on handshake. I think it's more of like a conversation you need to have with your graduate coordinator.
Okay, so we're also going to talk about that because I know that your graduate coordinator was instrumental to your second assistantship. So the first one, the person Shella asked, is the handshake platform unique to your school or not? So does it cover a lot of other schools?
I will speak for the US. I think it does, because the second school I applied to that I did not go to, they also had handshake. I registered there too, and I was trying to look for jobs. So yeah. I think it applies to schools in the US.
Okay, so now we're going straight into your cover letter. So what do you think you did in your cover letter that really got you your foot at the door? Like, what do you think should be in the cover letter? Or what should potential applicants, people like us that want to try it? Yeah, so please, I wanted to even ask you, please, the assistants, can people do it for PhD too? Because it just sounds really exciting. Yeah. Okay, so for the cover letter, exactly, what do you think that people should put inside? What did you put in your own that you think helped you to get it? Because I'm sure people are interested in that.
Oh my god. Yeah, so for mine, right, I streamlined it to the job description. So if the job description says, oh, the key things we're looking for, people that can communicate well, people that don't make mistakes in creating content, people that can design graphics, I will put it in my cover letter. Over the years, I've been able to do XYZ. In this company, I was able to do this. I achieved this with this tool. Like, I think it's just really putting like the relevant
what
that they exactly what does the job
examples of what you've done.
Yeah, and I just want to put it out here that the same cover, like, you can't use one cover letter for different jobs. It's not possible. You can't. I don't even think you can use one CV for different jobs. I
don't think so. Actually,
you need to tailor it. Yeah, tailor it and put in the keywords that they are looking for so that you can actually stand out.
Okay, so just to get it clear, because I'm sure we're all interested in your cover letter. So you saw the job description, the different things there. So for example, graphics design, communications, you put in your cover letter the experiences that you've had in those different things. And you talked about, oh, you've worked in this company and that company. So basically what you think that people should do is, depending on the job, that the assistantship they want to apply for, they should ensure that they read up the requirements and then give examples of specific things that they have done. How long or how short do you think a cover letter should be?
I don't know if I can't.
Yeah, we are. Anything you say, we'll take it. Obviously, I want an all final, guys, but it's a guide.
Yeah, like I really think
it's what you want, but we still want to hear.
Yeah, I think mine was about 4 paragraphs. I'm trying to think.
4 paragraphs? What?
Yeah, and like not long, right? Okay. Relevant things, so like that. Just first paragraph is like introduction. Second part, the body is just like the major things. What are the major things that you've done? The last paragraph is like concluding, right? From what I can remember, that is how like I write cover letters for people too, right? So that is what I do. I make sure that it just covers the job description that the job you're trying to apply for. What are the keywords? Just put it in there and make sure you can back it up. I don't like to lie. Yeah. I will not put something that I have not done, right? Because I have done it, that's why I'm applying for the job and I feel like I'm a good fit. All I just need to do is defend why I am good for the job, and it's just by me expressing myself and saying that I have done this thing before, I have experience in this thing before, and if you need to see more, please see my CV. Like, I haven't added that, please see my CV or look through my CV to like get information.
So we're going to talk about CV now that you mention it. So give us CV tips in terms of templates. What do you think people should include? What should people not put in their CV for assistantships in the USA? With examples of yours. Thank you.
So CV, right? I mean, education.
I know that these things sound easy, but you'll be surprised how. Yeah, let's just talk about it.
I get you. Yeah, I get you. So for CVs, I think I'll just break down. So I had a professional summary on my CV. I had education, I had my skills, I had my work experience, and I had my interest. I think those are the four big, I think 4 or 5 I just mentioned, I can't remember, but like those are the basic things I broke down. And in each of these things, again, look at the job description, what you're applying for, what like, and break it down. Like, okay, I did this. Okay, they are looking for someone that can, so for example, someone that can create content that is error free. Okay, I have done this for this company in over 6 years, and you break it down in your point, like bullet points. Make sure that they are
That
bullet
don't
points,
just write the
highlights.
job
Don't just write it like that,
and
right?
results you got as well.
Exactly, the results you got. I was able to do this, like 20% increase in blah blah blah, or I increased engagement for these people, right? And I'll be able to do that for your just sell yourself, basically.
Guys,
Professional summary, write like 2-3 lines of why you feel like you are good, like
like how
I am.
many job experiences though did you put in your CV for the assistantship?
So I tailored my job experience to what they, so for example, I don't think I put my legal intern experience there because it's not needed, right? Because I'm going for something that's content related, social media related.
You
I
need to put
didn't
the relevant work
I only,
experience.
I
So
only
all
put,
that NYSC 1 year is not needed if it wasn't
yeah, exactly, like you just put the relevant things that are relevant to that job, because nobody needs to know the things you've been doing in your life in past that is not relevant to like the job description.
Okay, so I know that the way this is sounding now, for people that don't have enough experience in that job description, what do you think they can do to boost their chances? Or people that are just starting in their career, or do they need to go get some internships, volunteering, or get relevant expert? Or how can they, maneuver their way? Or should they opt away from jobs and maybe just stick to like research or things like that? Because I'm sure there are people here that might be like, oh, what if I don't have all these experiences? What do I do?
To be honest, like I'm just going to speak based on my interview and how my interview process went. They drilled me. Let me just be honest. They drilled me to the point that they were able to understand that I can deliver because I have done this before and it is my niche. So if you don't have like the relevant experience, I don't know, I feel like you should just tailor your stuff towards like research. Have this conversation with your credit coordinator and just like, oh, can I assist any professor right now or something like that? Or you can even look through your school's website. Who are your lecturers that are going to be taking courses with, right? Look through the kind of research they do. If Mr. A, for example, is doing like research on research on technology, for example, and you know that you are interested in technology and you can actually help, sell yourself to Mr. A. Send him an email, say, oh, Mr. A, I saw on the website that you are currently doing like research on blah 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 blah. I am interested in this research because I have been able to look at technology development over the years and blah. Just sell yourself to Mr. Chicken. Like it doesn't. I'll just say this thing, like it's not Nigeria. I'm sorry, I don't know, but you can speak.
They're very accessible, yeah.
Yes, you can send them an email and express yourself.
And they're always, guys, they are looking for people to write paper with them or help them with their research.
Yes, they would answer you. Like send them an email. Like don't be scared to ask for information. I have seen people that they did not get funding from graduate coordinator, but they went ahead to email lecturers independently and say, oh, I saw your research on ResearchGate, or I saw your research on your website and I see what you are currently doing. I'll be interested in helping you further this thing. Please, if you have a position or a free space among your students, I can come in, right? And these lecturers will be the ones to speak for them in the rooms and say, oh, I want these students to come. So I think it's really just researching a lot, knowing what's on your school website, asking for information. Like it will not hurt you to send an email and say, oh, please, how can I get this information? Your graduate coordinator would answer you. Like they are working for you too. They're literally working for you too. So they will answer you. Like if you have any question, you ask. The only reason why I got this assistantship in the first place is because I was bold enough to ask. If I did not ask, my parents would be paying school fees by now. But thank God I was bold enough to ask and say, please, what do I need to do to get funding, or what can I do? And really just that's it. So like don't be scared. I'll just say that don't be scared to ask for information. You may not have the skills, right? But don't be scared to sell the little things you have to them. Like it's not going to hurt you. Last they'll tell you no and you rest, but you know that you tried.
Move to the next
one. Honest. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the interviews because you said they drilled you. So for someone who luckily scales through the cover letter and CV stage. How was the interview? What were they drilling you on? What was it about? We need to know.
So for the interviews, so I had 3 interviews, right?
What?
The last
You
one.
just say
But
three?
yeah, I had 3 interviews.
Okay.
Not like 3 stages, right? Like
Oh,
for
okay.
different offices,
My
right? 'Cause,
heart.
I told that first one I didn't get in, but she recommended me to 2 other offices, or I don't know how many of other offices she recommended me, but only 2 reached out to me. The second one, it didn't go well. And the reason I say it didn't go well is because it was a very short interview that I don't know if they looked through my CV well or anything. They just asked me, oh, so what I come to do. I just asked me like 2 questions and I'm like, is that all? I felt really somehow that what's going on. But the third one, it was more like a 6-7 man team interview, and they all had questions for me, right? The questions they asked me were relevant to my skills. So why did you pick this school? I think they asked me why did I pick this school. What made me decide, like why did I decide to finally do my masters. They now started asking me questions about social media management, content strategy, and all that stuff. So basically, I don't want to dive into that because I can't remember the question off the top of my head, but I know for sure that they asked me why I selected this school among other schools, why I want to really come, and like what kind of skills do I have to offer, like what are the relevant things I feel like I can offer.
And what do you think you did well that helped you to ace it? So when people are selling themselves, selling their skills, selling their dreams, what would you say are key things that they should take note of? Oh yeah, after that we're going to go to your question, Esther, but I just want us to finish this line of thought so that she doesn't go off. So what do you think, what people that are going into that interview, what mindset should they have? How should they, sell themselves? Like, should people hype themselves or should they be humble? I don't know. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but
hype yourself. Sorry. Hype yourself. Why are you not hyping yourself?
Don't worry, I'm coming to those questions because some people have already even asked them here too. Okay, so hype yourself.
Yeah, so let me just break it down. Hype yourself. Prepare. Let me just say this. Prepare. I prepared. I had like.
Did you go read up like keywords?
Yes.
Whoa,
like I read my CV over and over again. I went to I just started. I googled like questions you can get at a job interview concerning this role. All the possible questions I got, I wrote them down. I wrote down my answers. Like me, I wrote down my answers and I was reading my answers. Over and over again because even if they don't ask the same questions, they will ask similar questions. And I don't want to be caught off guard because I want to be able to defend my stuff, right? So I prepared. I Googled things like, oh my God, Google is your friend. I know everybody says that, but
it's the truth.
It's actually your friend, right? I Googled questions that could come up. I wrote down my answers. I read my answers, not to cram them, but to know what I would say if they asked me a similar question, right? All the skills I had and all the major achievements I have done, I was able to defend it. And to be honest, I gave them both I don't need to say technical, soft skills. There's the way you mix everything. Like if they ask you, oh, why do you think you can push, how do you think you can push our brand in terms of engagement? I can just say stuff like, I have worked for a health organization before and they had 0 engagement. I was able to push it to 20%. How did I do it? And I'll break down the steps I took to do it. First thing I did was maybe experiment with content. The second thing I did was maybe create a mailing. Just
I get you.
Have and be able to
whatever
mix
question they ask you. And even it's the same with scholarships as well. When they ask you a question, you don't talk about what you want to do or how you're going to solve it alone. You first take them on a journey of how you've done it in the past. That's how they're going to believe you. So I'm not even surprised that that's what you're saying. Okay, so any other tips in the interview before we move on to some more questions? Because I'm seeing 2 here.
I'll just say be confident. To be honest, even this interview, I was really quite nervous because I'm like, hey, God, I don't like to talk to people like this. I prefer to write.
Yeah,
I prefer to write and express myself, right? But I'm here doing this. So summary of the whole story is, I think just be confident, because the truth is that is your stuff, is your skills, is your knowledge. Nobody can take it away from you. You are the only one that can defend yourself and put yourself there. Nobody can help you. So because you know that you are the one that will take yourself there, you give yourself ginger. Like, you have to push yourself to get what you want. And I think I just had to. I was nervous, and I don't know, but I'm kind of person that, because I kind of stutter, right? And because I make it known to people that, or the interviewer that, oh, I'm sorry, I stutter, and I may stutter through this interview because I may be nervous, and they'll make me comfortable that, oh no, don't worry about it, don't be nervous. So that already gives me like confidence like I'm confident enough to now speak about my stuff. So because I already made known to them that, oh, this is it though, they'll not be like, okay, no problem, like, go ahead. And me, I'll just speak about my stuff confidently. So I think it's just try to build your confidence in any way you can, because even at the visa stage, talking to the VO, you would need to
get to the visa. Okay, so question from Esther. Please, I'm kind of new on all this. You keep mentioning a coordinator. Could you please explain who a coordinator is? Okay, I feel like that's a very good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Your graduate coordinator is the person like in charge of every graduate admissions. Yeah, so you doing your masters, the person that would like, maybe I would say, onboard you into like the whole process. The person that if you have any question, you ask him. If you have any complaints, you speak to him. He's like he's like the stakeholder that you have to talk to if you need anything in your department, because you can't just be talking to lecturers. If you have questions, you have somebody in charge like to speak to.
So how do you find out who that person is from the outside? Were you able to know who the person was?
It's on the website. Like,
so they just
write graduate coordinator. Yeah, and when you get your admission, right, when they send your congratulations email, they would even put it there that anything you want to do, or if you want to ask any question, this is your graduate coordinator that you should communicate with, like, moving forward. So like, it's always there. If you check the website, it's always there.
I hope that answers your question, Esther. And now that we're on graduate coordinator, because I know you mentioned that aside from applying on Handshake, another alternative is to speak to graduate coordinators. And your graduate coordinator was kind of like pivotal to you getting the second assistantship. So giving that, knowing, thinking about the things that you think he saw that made him recommend you for that one. For people who want to go through that route, speak to a graduate coordinator, what do you think they should keep in mind? How do you think they can sell themselves to him? Because I know you mentioned about the lecturers, but what do you think that they are looking for? What did he see in you that made him recommend you for that opportunity?
So let me just give you guys this yourself.
Okay, let's hear
this. Because I asked my graduate coordinator that, oh, please, are there positions in the office? They told me no. They gave me a lot. They gave me a lot from the department that, like, nothing for you. And that's why I had to go outside the department and look for on-campus job. Moving into the semester, they now welcomed me and said, oh, come and join us. Come and be like my research assistant, right? And I would say that what I'm thinking, they did not make it clear. But what I'm thinking is, I would just say it is my performance in my first semester. Right, my graduate coordinator was also my lecturer at some point. Your graduate coordinator may not be your lecturer at some point, right? But I think it's just him knowing that, oh, like, this girl is good and she can perform, right? That's why he was able to say, oh, join my own team, not even under lecturer's team.
Do you think it's academic based?
Yes, exactly. So it's academic based. Like, it's really academic based.
That even goes back to the next question. Do you need a first class or a 2-1? What if you have a 2-2? Would you still be able to get a graduate assistantship?
I can't really speak for that, because they know what they're looking for. It may not even really be like what you finished school with, right? If they gave you
especially for the jobs, I feel like the jobs are more experience based.
Yeah, and if they can give you admission into like the school, I think you also have the chance, like every other person, to like. So it's just really how do you perform, right? How do they know that you're a good person, like that you are good enough to perform at the job, right? So I think that's just really it. I don't really think it's about like your grade at this point. If they give you admission, right? Once they've given you admission, they just feel like you are good enough to even come to the school in the first place. So why not?
Okay, so do you know of people that, got graduate assistantships without starting on the course, because I'm thinking about people applying for the research based one, because I know I've heard of situations like that. How it's still the same process of speaking to the coordinator. So do they have to sell like research papers? Because someone asked a tip here for what could you include in your email. So are you just going to say, oh, I checked out your research, I'm going to help you, or do you need to have publications? Or I don't know if you could just speak on, because yours seems to be like you're already there and it was based on your experience. But for someone from the outside who doesn't want to just go through the job part of you, I do think that both of them is relevant depending on what you are most interested in. But for people that want to go through that coordinator route, what would you say to them that can help them not to get an ELA? What do you think affected you with your ELA?
So I applied late. Let me just the deadline, like the day of the deadline was the day I submitted my final application. Yes, so I didn't stand a chance because I applied too late to the school, right? It was more like final decision. Let me just apply, right? But speaking of
early, guys.
Yeah, apply early, right? And to be honest, some people are lucky and they're blessed. Some people they will get it, they apply to the school, and the department will just give them a grad assistantship with their admission. It happens like that. Like they're just lucky, right? Some people you have to fight for yourself, and you know how you fight for yourself. You don't need a research paper. You don't need like a research work, right? But it will be good if you can sell your research in undergrad, for example. Like, oh, I did this, which is similar to this. So I worked on my research in my undergrad level. I worked on blah, blah, blah. It's currently similar to the research you are doing, right? And again, let me just put it out there. Your grad coordinator is somebody that you converse with when you need information, right? So for example, if I'm a new student, let me just paint this scenario. If I'm a new student, I just come to the school, right? They give me admission, but I want funding offers. I send an email to my grad coordinator that, hi, doctor, blah, 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 right? I currently just got admission into the school and I love the school, blah, blah, blah. I would love to see if there are assistantship positions that I could apply for, or how do I go about this? That's just how you ask the question. What he now tells you depends on, like, whatever he tells you will determine what you would do moving forward. Like, you can't just start doing, like, whatever he tells you is dependent. If he says, oh no, there are no assistantship offers right now, or you can send an email to doctor this and ask him, or you can go on Facebook and check this page and see if it's just really what he's so you can't just sell yourself to him. He knows, because he's the one that looked through your profile to even accept you in the department, right? So he knows like what you're capable of. But you going to ask
him when you're applying for admission, guys, look at your admission as your pitch, your personal statement.
Yes.
Let's talk about that as well, from everything I've listened to. Okay, so someone says assistantship meant for only foreign students or the students of US as well. I'm trying to consider competition.
There's competition. Let me just say it. So the same way you're applying to school and you're looking for this thing, it's the same way people in China, people in India, people like in Bangladesh, like everybody is hustling. No, everybody likes a wolf now. So like everybody's hustling for the same thing. So there's competition, and that's why I just said you need to be able to, try your best. I don't know. I would not even consider my application the best application, right? I can't even, but I just know that getting information on how to go about these things was what got me here. Like, if I did not get the information, I wouldn't even. So because I was bold enough to ask for information, and every school is different.
Okay. Someone says, Bayo says, I think we answered this earlier, but anyways.
To answer the US question, right? Every student apply for assistantship. Even US students, they apply it and they can get it. So the competition is for everybody, like everybody in the world that's applying to that school.
So what do you think helped you to stand out? Because this is even like a content job, social media management. So like what helped you to stand out? Like, what do you think? Because that's really competitive. Like,
so
especially because you're from a different country and maybe your perspective could even be different. But for them to trust you enough to manage their social media, you must have sold something to them.
I sold myself. But
That means you must have really talked about your experience and your ability
yeah, like
and your courses. I
yes,
guess your courses must have helped as well.
yeah, like because the truth is that me, I'm don't even come from a communication background, right? But I was able to
But that answers Bayo's question. She earlier said that she studied political science,
understand,
which is
yes.
not related to what she's doing.
And guys, let me just say this thing because I remember one of my interviews. The only thing a woman on the panel or she said was, I like that you like to learn. And how did she know like I like to learn things? She said, I've seen that you've taken so many courses aside like what you did in school, and it's just because
Exactly.
you like to learn. And I like people that like to learn, right? So meaning that in my CV, she was able to pick that one thing she liked. Maybe that's why they even consider me for the interview in the first place, because she was able to see that, oh, this girl actually likes to learn. And I didn't just stop at, oh, I had a degree. I took free courses, like because I think it's just again,
Constant self-development. I always
yes, constant self-development, because it will help you. Like there's no skill you would learn that will not help you in future. Like it's not a waste. So constant self-development will like get you there. And to be honest, I was able to just sell my skills and my experience. That's what I would just say. My skills and my experience on my CV, on my cover letter with my mouth. That's just all I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you choose the US and not any other country? I have some other questions here.
So I actually wanted to consider Canada, right?
Canada.
I actually wanted to consider Canada, right? I was not considering UK, if I'm being honest. I was not considering UK, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, the reasons are obvious.
So it was between Canada and the US, right? And I looked at the application process for both. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think it's just me looking at application process for both. And I'm like, I think I would just do this US one, because it was, from what I could see and understand the process, I'm like, I think I should just go with this US one. And I just decided to just put all my eggs in one basket and apply to just US. My plan was to apply to like 4 schools, right? But like, again, deadlines, if you're not on time, I was not on time. I'm going to be very honest. I was really not on time. So because of deadlines and my school sending transcripts, delaying, I just had to go with the fastest one, and just, so it was US. So I did not consider other countries, just Canada, but I was focusing more on US because I just felt like the process was easier to go through.
So we're going to talk about the US admission process. So obviously we've talked about how to get the funding. So how do you even get the admission in the first place? So what were the different things you had to get? So you've mentioned transcripts a lot. Did you need to write any form of test? Because someone asked here, did you write GRE? So for people that are interested in studying the USA, what are the different documents and things that they will need to send to their school? The USA, actually, for me in the past, I just always thought it was hard in terms of so many tests, so I just wasn't vibing. But it would be nice for us to find out, okay, what are the different things we need? So firstly, you mentioned transcripts, so it means that we must get our transcripts. Now this transcripts, your school has to send it to them directly? Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, your school has sent them directly.
And it has
That
to
was
be them to give you an
I
admission.
was just for me. Yeah, that was the case for me. Like they had to send to them directly. My school would, I begged them to even give me so I can send to them myself, but they said no, they don't send to students, they send to them directly.
Wow. So was that required for you to get the admission? Or was that afterwards? So for the admission, what are the documents we need? Like, let's just walk us through your own specific school application process. And guys, you know that schools are different, but at least this should give us a rough idea. So what were the different things you needed to send that you can remember?
Yeah, I can remember. Schools are different, like she has said. So I think my CV, my cover letter, statement of purpose, recommendation letter from three people from my school. It was 3 people, right? 2 of my lecturers and 1 from a colleague that was working with me. Then those are the basic documents I can remember.
So we're going to go through those documents one by one briefly, because you've talked a lot about how important admission is, and from what I'm hearing, guys, it seems like your personal statement will really help you in order to even start up the conversation with your graduate coordinator. So I feel like we need to sell ourselves in the personal statement. So your statement of purpose, walk us through it.
Statement of purpose, right, is to just state why you really want to go to that particular school, right? How you think that you as a person, your values, what you like to do aligns with what the department you are going in for is offering, right? So mine was communications, right? I was just able to sell my communications background. I stated that yes, my undergrad was in political science, but as I started to pick a career path for myself, I finally decided to go with communications because I have worked in communications field for a while. So basically, your statement of purpose is, why do you think the school should give you an admission? Like, why do you think you are worth it, right? So how does your skills, or how, the things you have to offer, how do they align with what the department is offering? The kind of courses they are offering. So your statement of purpose, you're just selling yourself to the school, and you're also selling, you hype this school too, that among all the schools, you're among the prestigious ones I have seen that really align with, the curriculum aligns with what I want to do and all those things. So basically, sell your skills, sell why you feel like the school is the best fit for you and what you want to what you aspire to
do. As a pitch, guys, it's just not a statement of purpose. Yeah. What I'm saying is really competitive, so view it as a pitch. Okay, so that's that. Did you have to write any English tests?
Yes, I did. I took TOEFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, took TOEFL exam.
Do you remember the criteria, like the band or the grades? Grade your school needed, not your grades, obviously.
Yeah, school needed 80 or 79 or 80
over 100.
Yeah.
Or what's TOEFL about?
TOEFL is 100. I swear I don't know what TOEFL is.
Okay, but you wrote TOEFL, guys. So depending on your school criteria, TOEFL is very important. So guys, you are going to have to write TOEFL. Yeah. I don't even know how much that is, but
depending on your course, you may write GRE, you may write GMAT. Just depending on your course. That's why you need to check the schools you're interested in. Go to just go through their requirements and see what they need.
So for someone that is applying to multiple schools, do you think, because a lot of people actually, one thing that people used to tell me is, the fact that I have to write English tests, I don't know, the money, all these things, what would you advise someone that is feeling uneasy about investing money into English tests? I do have my own answer in my head, but obviously we are here for assistantships. So do you think it's worth it?
To be honest, the way I think about things is, if you really want it, just put in your all and get it, right? Yeah. So I would say that it is worth it. I know people that they've not even started applying to schools, but they just write GRE and TOEFL. So they just have it down. So any school that is going to ask for whatever requirement, they already have it. So because you need to be ready. If you want, because I did not want to write any exam. I wasn't even prepared for the exam. I was not prepared. I just went to, I'll say freestyle. I went to freestyle.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for the exam, but I knew that. I checked. One of the reasons why I applied late was because I was looking for schools that I would not have to write exam for.
Exactly.
But I did not find. Because I did not find, at the last minute, I paid for my exam a week. I wrote it the next week or after 2 weeks. So, because I didn't prepare that for it. And I just had to just do it because I knew that if I really want
remember the cost of the exam though?
I can't
just check, but I get it. Okay.
I think it is something key. I'm not sure, but I think it's something.
That's in Naira, guys, for people that are not Nigerians.
Naira.
That's not dollars though, because people think it's more than the school fees. All right, so you said personal statements, you said English test, so you talked about CV, the same thing for the assistantship, the same processes. Okay, reference letters. So what do you think your lecturers wrote in your reference letter? Did you guide them on writing things? Did they talk about your social media experience, or they just talked about your academic? Because I'm sure that people want to know what their referees should include in it.
So they came more from the academic background.
Write a document for them and list out all the different things they should include, your achievement, because a lot of them don't even remember anything.
Exactly.
Then you need to actually tell them, I think it's or send them your CV, or I don't know. But obviously, I feel if you just leave it to them,
I need to, exactly. And also it depends on the lecturer, because I know my lecturers. I know that, for this person to recommend me.
Do you think it's by the lecturer's rank? So were your lecturers like highly ranked in the department, or it doesn't really matter? It could be anybody.
It doesn't really matter. Just have
So-
someone that can vouch for you.
Okay. So that's two academics. How long were your reference letters though?
They were not so long. They were like just, I think, like 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs, like the same. Oh, I know this person. This person schooled here. She did well. She participated in this. So like you write it. That's why I said I
If
wrote
you
it
did not do well,
What?
what if you did not do well? Not do bad, obviously, but
You
you did
still
not get
tell
the highest grade, whatever. Because it's true now, because I feel like this is a very balanced journey, and I'm sure not everybody here will have like a first class, or a 2-1 safe. So there are other alternatives to tell yourself, maybe activities or things are relevant. Were your references about like your experiences beyond school as well?
No.
Okay, so just what you did in school.
Yeah,
Talk
just
about
basically
extracurricular activities.
really minor. Really
Well,
minor.
okay, so it was mostly focused on your academic skills.
Yeah, my academic. Yeah.
So the professional was your colleague. So was that like your client or your partner or your co-worker? I don't get.
It was my colleague, and I mean, she just spoke about how I teamwork, collaboration, just the basic things like I work teamwork, collaboration. She also worked on this project with me, and it came out nice. She was a good addition to the team. Those kind of things. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get, and then transcript. So for the admission, you didn't need to send your transcript, right? Or did
For
you?
the admission, yes.
You had to.
So I waited because I had to explain to the school that my transcript would be on the way. Like I already applied, right? So as far as you just send in the apply, fill the form on the like school website and just apply and put in the documents you currently have. So consequently, you can keep sending in the rest as they come in. You can keep sending in the rest as they come in. That's just how I did my transcript did not come at the time I applied. I'm not sure about that because I had to explain to this. And sometimes you can explain to the school that, please, this is this situation. I have applied for this, but it may take time. But I have currently applied and ticked off some boxes.
Okay, so I'm just trying to ensure that we're not forgetting anything. Personal statements, CV, transcript, English test references. Do you remember anything else?
Yeah, for my course, right, they asked me if I had any paper I had written, because I mean
Had you written any paper?
Not so paper or article or journal, anything at all that I could speak that I can write well enough. Right?
Okay. So you sent
I was
able, for example.
Yeah, I just sent them something I had worked on.
So what was it, a journal or an article? Because of people.
It was an article. It was an article that I got featured on Punch.
Okay, so that's like a newspaper article.
Yeah,
okay.
A newspaper article.
Okay, so that settles it for the admission, guys. So there are a couple of other questions here. I'm just going to go straight into it. So someone says, I'm a master's graduate from Greece, Europe. Am I eligible for this assistantship?
Yes.
Okay. I know you've been answered that, but obviously I just
asked
question because they wrote it. Somebody says, what will be the possible limitations to this opportunity? That's a deep question.
It's a deep question. I'm thinking about limitations. Let me just, I think everybody let me just put it out there, you can get it. Again, depends on how you sell yourself, the way you apply and all those things, right? I think the only limitation would be you not being a good fit for what they need. I think that would just be the only limitation. So is you not being a good fit for what exactly they need. That would be like the one limitation, because that's the only thing that can make them say like you are not maybe what the role or what the position, right? Because you don't know, like you don't have skills or you don't have this skill set they are looking for. And truth is that they always know what they are looking for. Sometimes I don't even know, like they always know what they are looking for.
Okay, it's a question in the chat before I continue reading these questions. Guys, you can drop your questions in the chat, but there are also some questions that you must have sent here. But Pedro Khadija says, how do you find the best school for the course you want? Okay.
This has to do with a lot of research. It took me months. It took me months, to be honest. Like, you have to start early. It took me months and depending on so my criteria was, I did not want a school up north, like New York, New Jersey. Why?
Why?
Because
For some of us that are here, please tell us why.
yeah, yeah, because of it was a personal preference, like because of the weather. The weather is always cold there, and I'm like, nah, I don't really want to school in a condition that I'm not really used to, right? So I said, okay, I want to start. I streamlined my search to, let me search for schools in Texas, let me search for schools in Florida, let me search for schools in California, let me search for schools in Alabama, right? So I started searching for school, and you can do stuff like you can just like put in like top 100 schools in the US. Look at the schools one by one, start going to their website, check the curriculum. The curriculum was what brought me here. If the curriculum, there was a school in Texas that I was going to go to, but I did not like the curriculum. I just did not like it. It was not what I wanted. So you streamlining your school would be based on what exactly you want for yourself. So is it based on the curriculum, location, right? The school itself, is it a top ranking school, or is it a normal school? Is it a public school, or is it a private school? So you need to use Google, like keep searching. The search will not stop. Like you have to keep searching, and there's no harm. If you have the money, you can apply to like 5-6 schools. Sometimes these schools
Wait, the schools have do they have application fees? I didn't even ask.
Yeah, they have application
fees.
fees.
Guys, we missed a very important part.
Yeah, they have application fees.
How much are the application fees?
I think mine was like
a rough idea. Oh, yours.
Yeah, I think $30, 30-20. Like, whoa. 30-20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and each school, like, they have their own application. Sometimes they give waivers, like this month you can apply for free. So you have to keep checking too. Like, you can check in.
So, okay, we've talked about so I was asking you, someone says it all feels so overwhelming. How do I start?
The first step is making a decision within yourself that you actually want to do this thing, because it's a whole marathon. Like it's not easy, right? So when you make decision within yourself, the next thing is start researching. What are the things I need? What are the requirements? How do I even stand out among other people that are applying, right? You just need to get it. Like, you may not get it right at first, but as you proceed, you will get it right. Like, I did not have all the information as at December 2019, but see me now, I'm talking about it because as I was doing this thing, I was getting more information. So the truth is, first thing, make a decision that, oh, I want to do this thing. And to be honest, while I was doing this thing, I occupied myself with a bunch of things. Last year was I started taking on freelance clients. Last year was I started doing all the side hustles in this world, because I didn't want to keep my mind on that one thing without opening my options. Like, it doesn't mean you will stop other things you're doing in your life with that one. Open your options. Open your options so much that as you're doing it, you're doing other things. You're doing your 9 to 5. You're doing your like side hustle and all the other things. Because the truth is that the wait period is very long.
Exactly.
So for you, it's actually very long. So the truth is, research is your best for this kind of thing. Research is actually your best friend. Ask questions. You can even ask me questions if you have any questions. Follow AFM stories. Ask our questions. Just ask questions. People that have done it before, ask them questions.
Sure.
Google anything. You will find resources if you Google. And please, don't be scared to send an email, even if you've not applied to the school. Send an email. Like, look for the person who would answer. Yeah, and ask.
Okay, someone says, do you mentor people, or do you mentor people, or have like a mentorship program for people who look up to you, like myself? Oh, okay, you have someone that looks up to you.
Nice. Thank you so much. No, I don't, to be honest. No, I don't. But I think it's something I should actually like look into. But I mean, for now, I think you can ask me questions. You can follow me on Instagram, Imade_Esosa. I can drop my handle here. But yeah, it's really nice. Thank you.
So nice. And someone says you have nice skin, by the way. Oh, you guys are like the nicest. Like, you make her blush so much today. I like it. Okay, so how do we know how many years one should stay to get a job after graduation? I'm not sure.
Like after like master's graduation. Is that what you mean? Or
Olatunji, could
not
you specify? Because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't get the question too.
Oh, okay. After the graduation. Oh, okay. When you're done, do you have to, like, maybe what are your post-study options? Maybe that's what it's trying to find
Oh
out.
yeah. For now, I just started, so I'm still trying to understand the way things work in the US, right? Once I can crack it, I would know my next option. But for now, I'm still trying to figure things out. Let me just.
Okay. So you had that right. Is it possible to travel for the assistantship with your child? If you have a child. That's somebody's question.
I think really you can, but it's not really for assistantship, it's for schooling, right? Can you go to the US for, yeah? And I say yes. Yes. You just need to, I mean, when you're doing your visa stuff, you just need to
Add
put in
them
that
as
you're
dependent.
yeah, dependent, exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
Someone says, can I get an assistantship for a PhD in Yale?
I think yes. I would just say that you can get an assistantship for PhD. In fact, most schools give assistantship for PhD because they know that they will stay for long, and yeah. So yes.
I even thought it was even more for PhD. That's why I was reading.
Yeah, it's actually more for PhD.
An assistantship for your master's, like that is really cool. DT says, can I get? I'm a little confused. Are you saying can you get the assistantship for PhD? Could you be a little more specific? So someone says, how can I get well prepared ahead of time as an undergraduate to get an assistantship?
That's a very nice question, right? As an undergrad, I think just start looking out for schools that you would like to work with, like that you would like to study in. Just start looking out for schools right now, and you have the opportunity to do a lot of things that will put you, like, that will make you stand out. So because you still have time, right? What parts do you want to, like, what exactly do you want to do? If you figure out what you want to do, just start developing your skills in that light. Like, you can do like volunteer jobs, you can do like, just start doing things that would put you in that light. And those things can be like volunteer jobs, speaking to people that are up there, like when I mean up there in your niche, like working with them and having all this little experience, so that when you finally finish, you can boast of the small things you have done within like a short while.
Okay, you heard that from her. Oh, I think he's saying, can I get an assistantship for an undergraduate program? That's
undergraduate program.
Sounds dicey.
I don't think so.
That sounds dicey.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because I feel like in that stage you're just trying to learn, and they might not be sure you have this.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's your building stage. I think for that you should opt for scholarships. This is specifically for, I think, postgrad. But there are other videos on scholarships on the channel. You can check that out. But I think this is for postgrad, Abby, because obviously you're bringing value, and in undergraduate level you're still learning. Okay, so trying to see if I'm not missing anybody's question. I think you've already answered whether they can get an assistantship with 822. Someone says, I'm a bespoke tailor and a graduate of mass communication. How do I choose a course that equips both interests? Well,
sorry, please, can you come again with that question?
Okay, person says, I'm a bespoke tailor and a graduate of mass communication. How do I choose a course that equips both interests?
I
think
like
there's a course like that actually that helps you to communicate well for fashion brands. Actually, I think my school has it. But anyways, what do you think about that?
I was just going to say that, I mean, you can search for schools and see if the curriculum aligns with what, to be honest, because
it's possible.
It's possible. Like, I've seen courses that I did not even know they existed. So you have to just search, to be honest. Like, you may, because I can't say yes or no, or you can find
communication should exactly together, but you could search more. Even because I'm studying right now, I never knew it existed. Creative enterprise. Like, people are always asking me, what's that? I'm like, creative enterprise, there's a course like that. Like, seriously. So trust me, you would find a course that brings those two things together. You just need to search. We're almost done with the questions. Oh, wow, I don't think we can answer that. Someone says, how can I keep the best mindset while applying for scholarships?
The best mindset. Sir, I'm just trying to think of like what I did that kind of like kept me in check and I stayed positive. First, I'm a Christian, so I'll just speak for myself, right? Trust God. I will just say that. Pray. When you trust God, just put in your best and trust God. I picked up journaling because the process was getting to me, and it was really long, and the pandemic made it longer.
Easy.
So journaling was the one way I could have a positive mindset and express myself to God. So I would just write and just express myself and I started like manifesting things in my life and saying, oh, I know that this will happen. I know that this will happen. I'm positive about this. And have like a support system. Have people that you would talk to when like things go wrong or when you are confused on what is going on. You need to have people you talk to because you don't know where the best words will come from or the soothing words that you need at that point will come from. And I mean, on social media too, I follow people that give me positive vibes. I like positive vibes a lot. And like, so I follow people that will give me positive vibes. So I just surround myself with positive people. I pray to God and I journal. That is how I was able to go through that. So you need to pick what works for you. If it's talking to people about it, maybe praying to God, maybe like looking for YouTube channels or social media platforms that would encourage you and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's like the best way.
Okay. So Legit, I'm so sorry if I'm wrecking your name. God, I feel bad. Hi, how do you get past indecision of what course to study? Being a person of many interests, I can relate, trust me. I have wandered between an MA in communications, creative writing, digital media, and so on. And sometimes it is so overwhelming. How do I overcome this? So I think I'll let you answer first.
Yeah.
To this, trust me.
So I'll just myself, like me, I wanted to. First option was strategic marketing. That was my first option. I wanted to do marketing. I did not even think of communications other than, right? When I started searching for schools and I saw that the curriculum for marketing wasn't aligning with what I had in my head. Second option was strategic communications. So I think according to like, list them out according to like your interests. So if creative writing is the one thing you really love above digital media and other things, write it out, right? Let that be the thing you are looking for and check for school's curriculum if they align with that particular part, right? If you start researching and you realize that I am not seeing creative writing as much as I'm seeing digital media, then you need to go for plan B, which is digital media. So I think what you can just do is, first of all, list out your interests according to like, okay, I like creative writing over data media. If I was to pick one, creative writing, I'll pick, right? After you list it out, start researching for schools in that light. And if you see that you see more schools offering, like giving the option of data media, then I think you just have to go for that, because at the end of the day, it's still your interest. And it will shock you that you will still learn creative writing in data media. Like
exactly.
Myself was strategic marketing. Yeah. And advertising is like a marketing thing, but it's strategic communications I'm doing, right? And advertising is still here, right? So like you'll be surprised that the curriculum, they intertwine and you're not missing out on anything.
Okay, I'll just chip in a little. So for me, before I chose my current course, I also was interested in an MA in creative writing. I was interested in an MA in media and communications. I was interested in an MBA. So I was torn between, I want to be a full-time writer, I want to be a communications person, and I want to be an entrepreneur. And like she said, I feel like the thing is, beyond even just what your interests are, what exactly do you want to be in the future? Like 5 years from now, what do you see yourself as? Like, what is that central role? And then what are the side roles? That's the first thing. And then, like she said, you list out the different interests you have. You'll be shocked at how some courses have a combination of those things. The course I'm studying allows me to, because I have many creative interests. Like these are just a few things. I'm also interested in filmmaking. I'm interested in, there's a lot. But I knew that I needed something that would allow me to develop myself across those different perspectives. And that's why I ended up with creative enterprise, which allows me to learn something among everything. So for this, the three things you're saying, or the three things, they're actually very similar, to be honest. I'm sure an MA in communications will have some elements of creative writing, will have some elements of digital media. But at the end of everything, I feel like the first one seems like the one that will encompass everything because it's bringing things together. But ask yourself, do I want to be an arty writer? So I want to publish a book. I just want someone to manage me. Or do I want to be a business writer? And then that will be my major also. And then the arty writer will be at the side. Because there are many successful writers right now that did not study creative writing in school. I have a brand for writers, so I will know they did not study it. Like, they did not study. So you don't have to study creative writing to be a good writer. But sometimes if you want to work in certain places, you might need certain degrees. So I feel you should just think about which one requires the degree more. And you will always find optional courses, optional modules to take that can help you. So I hope that our two answers answer your question. I think we have just like 2 or 3 questions. Someone says, how reliable are agents? Considering using them to do my applications. Did you use agents?
Speaking of agents, right? Agents can disappoint. Let me just start with that, right? They are good agents, if I'm being honest. I'm sure they'll be the good ones. But agents can disappoint, and that's why you have to be on their neck. I made my first commitment in December. That's when I knew, okay, I really wanted to do this thing. I used an agent, but the agent was so unserious that they were giving me work. Like, if I'd done it by myself, it would have been easier for me, right? But like, they were making the process frustrating for me. So I really had to don't work on my stuff anymore. I would work on it by myself because I felt like, because I was working, doing a 9 to 5, I did not have the time, right? After so much like frustrations, not getting things done at the right time, making me miss deadlines, I'm like, what?
Wow.
Myself, yeah, because
agents are okay. You can't say them, but that's really bad.
Yeah, like agents can frustrate you, so you need to be careful of the agents you pick and social proof. Like, you must know someone that has done it, and the person
can recommend them.
Exactly. The person tells you that this person did not stress me. The person was good. Like, that can vouch that this agent is very good. Because if you don't have
an agent though, let me just drop it. Abemot Consulting. I did interview her in the previous one, and she was quite useful.
So as far as the agent is good enough and would help you and not frustrate you, fine, why not?
But then also ask yourself if you can really do it yourself.
Because I paid an agent, but I had to do it myself, and it's very painful because it was waste of money. So you have to be very careful.
Exactly. So ask yourself, do you have the time? I feel like if you have time personally, you just do it yourself. But if you obviously, there are people in situations that they feel very overwhelmed and they think they can't do it. But to me, first choice, do it yourself. But if you can't now do it, like she said, use someone that is well recommended. Because I've heard stories. Like, I had a friend that was trying to get a scholarship. I think it was USA as well, and it took a long time. She was just switching up agents, and then it got to a point where she had to do she herself. So you have to be sure, guys. You have to be sure that you can't do it yourself. I always believe in, but you can get advice. But anyways, I think we have just one question. Oh, okay. How to fund a robotics program, which is not common. It's a very specific question.
Sorry, I didn't.
Person wants to know how a person can fund a robotics program. Do you have any ideas? Do you want me to talk first while you get your thoughts together?
I think you should actually talk first because I'm still trying to figure out the question.
Okay, so I always tell people there's no course that you cannot get a scholarship for. I don't know about assistantship, but scholarship, I know that one for sure. And for that kind of course, number one, you cannot apply to scholarships that have specific courses you're looking for. You have to pick scholarships that just care about your experience and what you're trying to do. So ask yourself, I want to study robotics. How exactly can me studying this course help my country? So what are the ripple effects? Are we in a tech age, and so there's need for people to be more aware? Do you want to start up a foundation to help young kids I'm giving you ideas, but the point is that robotics, you have to be able to convince the scholarship provider that it's possible. For example, the scholarship I'm on, Chevening, there's somebody studying human computer interaction. I'm sure the person had something to say, like something very convincing. So I just feel like, as long as you know that the course you're studying can help specific people, you should be able to get a scholarship. But you can't get every scholarship. You have to find specific scholarships that are interested in those kind of things. And it might be a little less straightforward than conventional courses like maybe MBA or communications or stuff. So I feel like, at least I know my own scholarship, you can get it if you just have a strong why for your future. So what do you think about the US robotics assistantship? I think it's even possible for research.
Yeah, it's actually possible. It's possible. Like, you can get assistantships for any course. There will be schools that will give an assistantship for robotic course. You just need to
even unique, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's actually unique. And the truth is that you will barely find people with like that kind of skill. And when they see someone that's really interested in studying that kind of course,
exactly,
right, they want to actually pick you, but you need to research well and actually find those schools.
And I think start working on it and giving examples of some of the maybe work you've done. Let them know how crazy about it you are, literally. But I think you should be able to get it. I think that's all. So guys, do you have any other questions for us before we round up? So Mimi, I have one final question for you, Shao. And the question is, what is the it factor? Like, among everything that you did, what is that one thing that you can say helped you on your journey? Because I read your story, and for me, it was very motivating. Like, it was moving, because you even talk about the fact that even like, because there are some parts of it that you missed up, where they even moved your scholarship to the next year when you were not able to travel.
Yeah, I didn't say that story.
There are so many miracles. Maybe you can even tell us, like, she literally got the scholarship and could not go, and they moved it to the next year. Guys, have you had that kind of grace? Like, they moved your scholarship and your funding to the next year.
Oh my God.
So what do you think is that it factor that really helped you in this journey?
First of all, I'll just say God. See, I don't want to sound like so spiritual.
God
is the one, because every single person that I know that even got an offer last year and couldn't go, they took it back. Like, they said, if you're not coming, like, we're not going to give you. But what I did was, when I realized that I wasn't going to come, I was very honest. I went to meet like the person I was communicating with when I got the job, the person that sent me the email that, oh, you got the job or you got this offer, blah blah blah. I sent a message to the person and said that, hi, I may not be able to come this semester, but can I work for free for you from here? I don't mind. So I was literally offering myself to them and saying, don't worry, don't pay me, don't do anything for me. Let me just work for you. Let me give you ideas. And I was literally just selling myself to them that, please, though, you don't have to like give me anything, but let me just work for you. For this semester, I'm not going to be around, so that I can just hold on to it. And the person said, oh, I will get back to you. I need to consult with the team on this. The next week, they got back to me and said that the team has agreed that we would wait for you. You don't have to work for us, but we would wait for you. But you must come in January. And I was just like, oh my God. I was surprised because I did not expect that kind of grace, to be honest. I didn't expect it, but I know that I prayed about it. I was sad. I was very sad that I wasn't able to make it, but I was just like, this is the best I can do. Offer myself to them and said, you know what, I'll work for you for free. But they said no, and said that they'll just hold on for me and wait and get volunteers to do it pending when I come. So I'll just say, to be honest, it's actually the grace. And answering your question on what is the it thing, I would just say that I sold myself. I sold my skills. I just tried in every possible way, verbally, written, messaging, like every single thing. And I kept praying. You have to pray to God, because God is the one that knows. So that's what I just get. I prayed and I sold myself. And I've already explained how you can sell yourself, how like your skills, things you've done. Yes. So that's just it.
All right, guys. I'm sure we learned a whole lot, guys. Like I've learned so much, and I've already found one of my plan Bs in this assistantship. I don't know about you, but me, I'm ready to hustle. And I believe, guys, see, you might be listening to all this and be like, "Hey, God, can I get in? Am I qualified? Is it possible?" Anything you believe you can or you can't, you are right. That's just my own. So I feel like believe in yourself that you can get this, and then get a strong conviction, work hard, apply some of these things. This video is going to be up on my YouTube channel, so you can watch up the replay. Just go for it. Just try. Like don't sink back into your fears, and I believe that you'll be fine. I'm sure we learned a whole lot. Thank you so much, Esosa, for all the beautiful tips and tricks. I learned a whole lot from this session, like a whole lot, guys. My brain is hot. And yes, my name is AFM Stories. For those that joined late, I have a YouTube channel which shares opportunities, scholarships, career tips, and I interview amazing people like Esosa, people who have won different types of scholarships. So if you want to get information about all types of scholarships, different types, you can check out the channel, youtube.com/AFM Stories. I think somebody already even helped me drop it. Thank you, Combat. So you can follow her on social media, Imade Esosa. I think you already dropped that as well.
Yeah.
And then you can follow me on social media as well, AFM Stories. The video will go up today, so you can watch it immediately. A lot of excitement. All right, guys. See you next time, and bye.